Okay, 9 a.m. You filling in for Julie Swanson, are you?
I am.
Okay, treasurer to discuss the possible action semi-annual report.
Julie is sorry she couldn't be here this morning, but has asked for me to bring the semi-annual report. So here's a copy for each one of you. And here's the signed one that I signed this morning, and then she said she'd get you a copy.
Okay. I actually need an original. So is there
That is the original.
I need two originals, one for
Okay.
you and one for me.
That's fine.
So
I
I'm just
have-
gonna make a copy of
No,
this.
I have one.
You have another one?
Yes, I do. In the
Okay.
office.
Do you want to grab it quick?
Sure.
That way we can just get it signed all at once.
Cindy has joined.
It's a grain tax.
The elevators pay a tax, depends on the bushels of grain that come in.
Must not be very much.
I would guess that most of those people pay at that in the first half, and since this is the second half in semi-annual report, probably most of that revenue came in the first half. Thank you, Denise.
Well, see any problems with it?
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second the motion.
Motion Stenger and second Derby to accept the treasurer's semi-annual report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Con-
No,
Good second.
oh, Julie wants hers signed, her stamped usually.
Okay.
Deck conference unlocked.
Hello,
Scott, we're ready for you.
I'll be right up.
All right.
Really?
Oh, really?
I'm not a licensed auditor, so.
Oh, you get signed twice.
Yeah.
But you did sleep in a Motel 6
I did.
last night, right?
TB and
Yeah.
bangs, tuberculosis, and
Yep, and dreamt like it. What, injuries last night?
yeah, TB and bangs,
Last time I slept in a Motel
tuberculosis,
6.
and
I did.
Versus.
Yeah, there you go.
Something.
Something goes through the public health then.
It's for hogs, like, it's for
Smell.
like study of diseases and,
No.
yeah.
So
TB and bangs.
this is something that's collected.
It's a small tax that's collected through everyone that pays taxes. It's like .0027.
And then it's paid out in June and December. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. open forum quick?
Might. I'll have you sign that.
Morning, Scott.
Morning.
Good morning.
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 Didn't see it, saw the rest of your family out at Hunter's the other night.
Oh, I was there.
I was on the late shift a little bit.
Okay, then I probably was gone. We were there from 4 to maybe 6 or
Yeah,
5:30.
we probably didn't get out there till 6:30.
Yeah, did you get some picnic bugs on you?
Oh, they were plenty of them.
They were crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen it like that before.
Yeah.
You pick up a sandwich and you just get swarmed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I imagine they have plenty of them. There's plenty of places for them to be out there.
Yeah, but when you didn't have food, then they weren't an issue. So they sure knew what they were trying to do.
Yeah, I think the one time I must have had 8 or 9 of them on me crawling on me. My daughter was, Dad, they're all over you. It's because I'm so sweet.
No, they were so quick they'd get in your sandwich before you could even eat it. And
Yeah,
tricky.
no protein.
Yeah.
There, especially means there was plenty of manure piles out at that place for them to be on first.
It's a pretty neat farm for, all the livestock that are up there.
Yeah, yeah.
Where's that?
Dale's.
It's
Oh,
just,
okay.
At where?
My Uncle Dale's place.
Oh,
Yeah.
Muted.
Hunter's
His
graduation
son
party.
graduated this
Oh,
year.
okay.
Well, Scott Miners, engineer, will discuss secondary road matters.
Right, just a couple things we've had going on. We have our crack sealing crew bargain incorporated around the county here for the next week or two. It'll be a couple weeks, I guess. They're working south of Buffalo Center right now on R20, and they got some work up by Scarville done here last week, so they'll have quite a few miles to go. They can get a couple miles a day. So they'll be out and about quite a few different locations around the
Julie has left.
Last week, we had slurry leveling going on the Mill Road south of Buffalo Center, and that was just one day job, so they're out of here. Other than that, pretty well business as usual.
Yeah, I ran into the crack crew on Vinci Blacktop on R50. That one day it rained pretty good at our place, but they got very little up that way and they just kept working.
Yeah, I don't know, they're pretty easy to work around. Their closures are just one lane and only for a few hundred feet at a time, so
Yeah.
not too bad. Not much. You guys got anything?
I don't have anything.
Edge rutting. When do we address that? South of Lake Mills, that blacktop.
What was it? Dress what?
Edge rutting,
Oh,
the shoulders
Yep.
on the blacktops.
Cindy
Sure. We'll do edge rutting every fall.
And is that just
That's left.
rutting, or it looks like there's plenty of rock there, it just needs to
Yeah,
be bladed up?
They've done a combination of things. Sometimes they'll use the disc on the maintainer and kind of rake it back toward the shoulder, but usually they'll run like the 1 foot wide wedge along the edge of the pavement, and they'll add to it with new material. Usually after the rock run and some spot loads, they'll get started on that kind of thing.
is it R74 is bad?
Yeah, I go south on that, and it's like there's, by Hanson's there.
Yeah.
It's,
Really?
because the wind's kind of, you go past places and the wind kind of tosses you around, and I think trucks get off the road there and make it pretty bad. There's probably some places on the east side that they're probably at least that deep.
Yeah, I mean,
Right out of line.
if it's more than 2 inches consistently, we'll probably do that segment this fall, but if it's really bad and it's spot locations, I suppose we should know about them.
If you're heading into Lake Nels, north of the Rice Lake corner, it may be about a half mile north, it gets pretty bad.
Okay. We'll do that
And the bigger they get, the harder they are to steer yourself out of them if you do drop
Yeah,
off them. I've
and
been
that
telling
sprays
guys
more
before,
off.
Yeah, because they're turning to get back on, and you can just see the rocks flying out of there. It's almost like a dozer blade in there. Not quite, but.
Something to look at anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, you don't get that copy. I mean, you can see it if you want, but.
That's all I have.
Yeah, because I don't have anything else.
It's too bad the rain came on Thursday, and then it dried out by Monday for the blading.
Yeah,
It's typical.
hard to get it just right when you work 4 days out of the 7.
Maybe this rain will help.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
7511.
It is, okay. That's what I had in my head.
Along with a lot of other things.
Yeah, other things that aren't as important.
This is Chris.
We're ready for you.
Okay, thank you.
Tough last night, huh?
Oh, golly, yeah. Just made a couple of mistakes in the last inning. Actually thought they were gonna have, they were up 3 runs going into the bottom of the 7th. And a couple of mistakes, a couple of hits, and the next thing you know. But they played good. It was, they did a good job.
Alex gonna stand over there. There's a chair over here.
Oh, thank you. Nice guy.
Okay, auditor's office will discuss drainage matters.
I don't have anything that's not on here.
Okay, I have nothing.
I don't have anything on drainage.
You got
Let
one?
you know that the contractor started on DD 18 lat 11. That's the one that has the boring under the railroad and
Oh,
the
yeah.
county road.
The more you guys get there,
Not yet,
not
but
yet.
he's timing things with them so that hopefully they're done by the
The
time.
conference is ending.
So,
Okay,
So they're starting to schedule.
yes, yes. And just as a little warning, I guess, that hopefully it doesn't affect your projects, but we're
Please enter
having
your participant
trouble,
or moderator
contractors
code,
having some
followed
trouble
by the
getting
pound
enough
key.
pipe to keep working all the time. I don't know if there's that much demand. I think
Please say your name, followed by the pound
producers are
key.
not stockpiling
You are the
very
first
much anymore,
participant in the
so they
conference.
produce it as they need it. So,
so there's no delay in getting it.
yeah. Right, so who you're probably familiar with, he's working on one in Palo Alto for us, and they're only getting about half a day's worth of materials per day. So they moved off, no, so they moved off to something else, and they'll come back once the supply is built up.
Yeah. Oh.
Hopefully, we don't run into that with yours. So far, so good with the contractor. So,
Okay, well then we'll move on to number 5, consider for approval change order number 1 for DD 11 main tile improvement project.
you've heard about the issues, I'm sure, with the materials, soils materials out there. Bottom line on it is that we're sure there'll be all kinds of problems. There isn't really room to do what we need to do with it. Did you get one of these? Probably not.
Not like this.
There isn't room for us to do what we have to do with a ditch to protect the slopes. We'd have to lessen the slopes, and there's just not space to do it. So what we're looking at is a 96-inch pipe for 400 and some feet,
Julie
and
has joined.
that'll solve a lot of problems as far as the slopes. So, gripes me we have to do this, but it's just how it is. One thing about it, the change order shows the $94,000 in cost, but there'll be 20,000, a little over 20,000 come off of that because there's excavation we don't have to do. So it ends up being a cost that's, the increase in cost is gonna be less than the price of the pipe, but close to it, so,
So that's by the hog,
yes.
well, everybody should be happy then.
I think so. I mean, you know, when I saw the cost of how much it was gonna increase, I went back and looked. From when we did the estimate this spring, we're gonna be like over $200,000 less on the project, even with this, just because you got such a good bid. Even with all the work we wanna add to this contractor, his total cost is still under the second low bid. So there's some positive things happening there. It's just, we can make this project work by doing this. Chris noticed on the plan sheet, it said, what, recent hog confinement or something else?
Yes, it says newly constructed hog barn.
Yeah,
I noticed, I believe, this pipe coming in just before the curve,
mm-hmm.
does that come from their hog building then, or?
Yeah, they have a north-south drain tile east of their confinement. And we just recently had the contractor run a sub-drain along the south side of the ditch that picks that tile up.
Okay.
We had a bid item in there for sub-drain, so we decided this was a good place to use some of it right away. The intent is to pick up any groundwater movement before it gets to the ditch and take it through a pipe down to a more stable area.
The other day, it was running.
Yeah, it almost immediately started running. And we allowed for some of this because you run into that with ditch. I mean, the best way to take care of some of that is a sub-drain, I'll call it. Hopefully on the north side, we'll be taking off enough water out of the existing tile. It'll do the same thing for us north of the ditch. It'll pick up groundwater before it causes seepage through the banks. So, yeah, so what we're asking is to authorize that change order to be signed. And then the big thing on the timing on this is that in the pipe we're gonna order, they take, it's 3 weeks delivery once the change order is approved to get the pipe. So I was glad the contractor had another Winnebago job he could just go to and then come back. So,
Has he taken any of the dirt to that DD1 yet?
no,
Okay.
we've run into some issues there where we're in the nesting time period,
Oh, right.
so we can't haul to the one site. And then the other site is crops, with no access. So we're still working on that. And
Yeah.
I had a note to myself to call Scott, see if he had anywhere we could stockpile some material.
Until we can get it to the
Until we can get it to the right place. But I'll catch you maybe after or sometime here shortly to talk about that. Our goal is to still take some of the excess material to DD1 and do some repairs. I've talked to NRCS and they don't want us driving on the CRP, of course, during nesting season.
When's that end then?
August 15th, I believe it is. So, not that far. When someone told me they were going to start in a month and a half on a job, I thought that sounded like a long time, but it's already September. So, yeah, the time's just escaping here. So,
Do you have another copy of this change order?
I have a couple here that
Oh, okay.
for signature. Just show it for the board. Here's, oh, you got it.
I got it.
Okay. I did. Okay. And did you want,
You wanna look at it?
I should look at it, yes. I don't need one.
this is the one I signed. I've signed it already, but I have to catch the contractor That's it. We didn't extend the construction time. I don't expect him to have any trouble completing. He's just a very efficient contractor. If he gets in behind for some reason, he'll work a weekend. We've even seen him work holidays just to keep up.
Most of the delay so far because of us.
Well, that's how it's been, and it's just how it is, and we'll get through it. Yeah. So,
Us or the adjacent landowner.
there you go.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve change order number 1 for DD 11 main tile improvement project.
Second.
Derby, a second from Stenger to approve change order number 1 for DD 11 main tile improvement project. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Chris, do you want to stay?
Um,
It's dated and signature.
I think dated is fine, if it already has a date.
Contractor said as long as this was approved today, that he'd order pipe at least by this afternoon. So he'd have it in 3 weeks and could get back at that job. I don't think I mentioned to you about hydroseeding. I didn't say anything to work. We've been in contact with Lakeside Construction. When we hit the more unstable material, as we dug in the ditch, we talked to them, and they got out there yesterday and sprayed oats on those slopes to try and get some growth to protect them. They want to do the full seeding a little later when the weather is better for growth. But they said if they do the hydroseeding with oats, we will get cover very quickly, and it should really help protect the slopes.
So where's the unstable parts? You said sand in there, or?
Yeah. Basically, probably the west half of the part of the ditch they've dug already.
Okay.
Where they started, it was good clay, good stable material, but as they got further to the west, closer to the log buildings, there was more instability there.
Good. Yeah, they'll get a lot of that sandy stuff as they go farther.
Yeah. Well, and that's the reason we included quite a bit of this subdrain in the bid.
That next section is notorious for sand.
You bet. So,
Might be a foolish question, but do we want to go back to the same easement we were then, or?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna narrow up the easement for the tile, so we'll be lessening what we'd be paying for that. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm glad
Yeah,
you picked up on that.
Yeah, I will need new rates then
Yes,
for landowners.
yeah, we'll get that
Okay.
right away.
So shutters won't change, it would just be the hog building, right?
That's pretty
I would
much
think
right,
so, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's about right at the property line where that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I'm looking, it's pretty close.
Yeah, very, very close,
Hold my map.
yeah. Okay, so then get those 2 signed, the ones I signed at least.
We took action on one of them, we had the other one.
I think Mike's got it. I'll grab it. Thank you.
Good. I got some.
Oh, yeah. Okay, very good.
So we moved,
We took action officially, so do we have to officially take action to redo the easement?
because the easement's changing, when we get it done, or,
I don't know, we're having a hearing, so.
Oh, we haven't taken action on it? Or
No.
originally?
Set the hearing, but haven't had the
We've seen it,
hearing.
But we're having an open,
All
or
right.
public hearing,
that's on the whole easement thing.
all
right?
the easement
The
payments.
whole
But
report.
the change that we did a week or 2 ago, in that area,
The 5 foot.
we've
Yeah,
got
we
within
didn't-
5 feet of the fence.
We haven't changed it since the first one I got.
Okay.
Right, yeah, we'll have to get that,
Yeah.
Chris.
Okay.
And then Rick, I want a copy of that too.
Yep, hold on, I'll get you here yet.
Anything else?
I think so.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right, consider for approval recorder's quarter report.
No, she's not here. It's over there. Terry's got it.
Oh, he's looking at it, all approved, I'll make a motion to approve number 9, semi-monthly county claims.
I'll second it.
Motion from Stenger and a second from Derby to approve some of the county claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Amos. Amos. I'll make a motion to approve the recorder's report.
I'll second it.
Motion from Stenger and a second from Derby to approve the recorder's quarterly report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion to approve the sheriff's quarterly report.
Second?
Motion from Derby, a second from Stenger to approve the sheriff's quarterly report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. There we stand adjourned then.
Hey guys, are you guys doing open forum or have you done that already?
I guess
We'll hear from you, yes.
we'll go back to
Okay.
it just for you.
Okay, thanks. I don't know if you guys, we've had some activity in our county, so we're up to 21 active cases right now. But I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page about if anyone is sick with any upper respiratory issues, cold-like symptoms, that they do need to go get tested before they can return back to work, because my last 3 cases had no symptoms or just a runny nose. So,
So
I,
they should have been tested? I'm not following.
So if you're sick.
well, if anyone is sick, they need to go get tested or stay home till they're symptom free and have no fever. Even if they don't have a fever, but they have to, this virus symptoms are not at the norm. One of our cases just had a runny nose and she was positive. So, I mean, we really have to do our due diligence so we don't infect the courthouse and everyone else. Does that make sense?
I guess if I have a runny nose, I should go get checked?
No, you should, well, no, what I'm saying is, if
If you're sick.
you
stay
have
home.
any of the symptoms of the virus, you should not be around people until your symptoms
Right,
reside,
right, yeah,
is what I'm saying.
yep.
So we have to make sure we do that, well, so, or you can go get tested.
Yep.
So I just want to make sure that's still our sick policy for the courthouse, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you think a lot of people have had it with no symptoms and?
We are seeing that right now, yes.
Okay.
So you can't just assume you have a cold. I mean, we need to keep our work people safe and our people that we serve. With that said, my department went back to the remote hours because I can't have 7 people in my office. So we're down to, the girls are charting from home, and every other week the nurses take turns who's here in the office and who's not. They're still seeing their patients, but then they go home and chart. Same with the aides.
I don't remember, Julie, this is Mike. Did we figure out the mileage on that? Did we ever get that straight?
Yep, everything's all straightened out with that, yep,
Okay, all right,
yep.
good.
So, and we are doing appointments only here in the office. They just have to call, and we've had a couple call to get their immunizations and foot clinics, and their foot clinics, their blood pressure, or pick up a radon kit. So they have called, and we do have screening for them. But I really think that every employee needs to start screening themselves, and if they do not feel well, they should not be coming in. And we have numbers to, there's plenty of places now in our area to get tested. Cassuth County just opened a test, Iowa. Hancock is testing. Mason City has testing, Mitchell is testing. So,
All by appointment?
yep, you just got a call number, you fill out a thing, and then they call you back, yep.
Will they test if you don't have symptoms?
You have to tell them that you were in contact with someone that was exposed to COVID, and that you're an essential, worker, which the courthouse is. But I really think that we just need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves too as employees of Winnebago County.
Will that test tell you if you've had it?
That's a blood test.
Okay.
And you can get that blood test at Hancock County. The hospital's doing that. You just call for an appointment, and it's $30, and it will tell you if you've had it or not. And we have, I believe I looked on the website today, and we have had 3 people in our county that have tested positive that they have had it. So,
And that blood test will also tell you if you have it at the present time, right?
no,
No.
that's the nasal swab.
Oh, okay.
I read something about it, that a lot of the people that get tested don't test positive for having the antibodies, that there are different ways that your immune system gets rid of things. And some people's bodies conquer it before you ever have to build the antibodies.
Right, everybody's different.
So if you didn't test positive for the antibodies, does it mean that your body hasn't already gotten rid of it in a sense?
Well, this will all-
They don't know a lot yet about this virus, so, and flu season's just right around the corner, so.
This will all go away if Biden gets elected.
I don't think so. I don't think it'll go away no matter who's elected.
I think you know what I mean.
No, the virus won't
I
go
know.
away, but the media will. The media coverage of it will.
Okay, we're adjourned,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we're adjourned. Yep.
Thanks, Julie.
You bet.